Hey there. I just sent off some information, and now I want to focus on what's probably the most important things. Okay, basically these are things that I used at the last seminar I did, which didn't have a lot of people, but nonetheless, the two documents that I sent off was the home buyer seminar, and the other one was regular and streamlined comparison. Now, those are both kind of important because they pretty much sum up what it is we're doing and the differences between the different loan packages. Because when you're confronted, you're in front of a client, or you're positioned in front of a broker or a realtor or whatever, most everything you need to know would be in here. Not that you're going to read from it specifically, but this is a general overview of the items that are required. The differences between the conventional, what the 203K does. Once again, we're always focusing on the rebranding of this because 203K is confusing and it has a bad connotation in the real estate market. So what we try to do is rebrand it to FHA Rehabilitation Loan. Now we'll get into the inspections at another time, but right now these things would be rather important. And it goes back to what I talked about earlier about the difference between streamlines in the full K program. There's a fine line, okay, and so we have the comparison here. Now this is basically from FHA website. Most all of this was from the FHA website, which I pretty much redid myself into a more usable format. It's more of a crib sheet than anything else. If you were to study and memorize this, you could probably do your own seminars. But once again, it goes back to the things that are most important, and I can't stress that enough. Especially meeting with clients and contractors, and more often than not, what you have is everyone's confused when you get there. You have people that have already gotten bids already. There's no order, rhyme, or reason to any of the bidding that they have, and the bids generally are whatever the contractor thought that he understood the clients to say. And so the most important part of this is to reorganize the whole program and start from the beginning, explaining what it is you're doing, the fact that you're there to advocate for them, and the fact that you're there to help their contractor put this bid together in an orderly format, which you will provide. And that you're always going to be there for the client to ask questions and answers, that type of exchange. Because so many of these are confused, and it's almost like construction management. Now, a lot of the consultants, most of the consultants don't do any of this. They just basically fill out some reports, collect their checks, and that's pretty much it. You know, as we're trying to propagate ourselves into this system to garner the affection of the different lenders and realtors and whatnot, we just have to be much better than everybody else. So that generally requires a little extra work that may not be required at all in the program. That's just my theory. I would like all of you to continue that, even though it may be a little bit more laborious. I think it'll pay off at the end, and at some point in time, maybe we'll break free of all the additional items that we normally use and do now, but I think it's best that we try to do the very best job that we possibly can. The clients themselves, once again, are pretty much confused. So you're going to have to set these things in order, and you'll find as time goes by, you'll get better and better at this. At some point, we'll get on to the inspections, but the inspections are basically methodical, mechanical. As most of you know, I have a checklist that I was using. At a certain point in time, the checklist is good depending on the type of project you're looking at. But right now, I pretty much have gone off to film, to video camera. So what I do is I pretty much know at this point what it is I'm looking for. And I'll take a film of this, and I'll take snapshots when I get back to the office and fill in my notes. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, is there any way to do this with a laptop in the field? You may be able to do some of this in the field, but I don't believe you're going to be able to do all of it in the field, especially when it comes to the pricing, coordination of pictures, and all the other things that go along with this. If you, at some point, move away from the photos, you know, I would not recommend it because the photos are valuable when it comes to the second part of this. And the second part of this is not the clients and it's not the lenders, it's the underwriters and the appraisers. If you think that no one's reading all the details, you're totally wrong, okay? I spend a lot of time, too much time, more time than I would like to, on the phone with the underwriters who have questions about the reports. And so basically, you know, it's just about general information and how we present ourselves. I think that those sheets that I sent you pretty much cover probably 80% of the dialogue that goes on with just about everybody. And hopefully your licenses will be coming up soon, and you'll probably be accompanying me if you haven't already on some of these inspections. And what I'm probably going to try and do is do a video, do a film of the entire inspection process, rather than me just running around and jumping all over, following it through and then following it through with the report so that you can see what the reports are. So just to let you know that I did send these two off, and they are important, but they would be the most general crib sheets that you possibly could use and the most repetitive mantras that you'll be using. So keep that in mind, read them over, and you know, hopefully by the time everyone gets online and acclimated to this, I'll be able to generate more business, because right now I'm working with you know, just a pile of people. Matter of fact, most of my time is spent on propagating the work. So that's what we're all heading to, and although it is slow here in the Chicagoland area, this is the only financing for rehabilitation that's left, and it should be something that's going to be sustained for a pretty long time. So once again, check those out, read them when you can, just over and over, and before you know it, hey, you'll be sending me an upload. Take it easy.